I forgot there. So that's the questions that a lot of people have. So that's what we're going to answer today, and how to flip your home. So a little bit about us. There's going to be two of us talking today. I'm Lepe. I'm a licensed real estate broker, property manager. I've been doing this for 18 years. I've consulted hundreds of home sellers on how to sell, what to do, what not to do when it comes to their real estate.
Okay, so
I'm a top 1% agent in San Diego County. And there's somebody out there talking. Your mic's live. There you go. Thank you. All right. So there's I'm a top 1% real estate agent in San Diego County. I have bought for cash flow. I've assigned properties, wholesaled, invested, and flipped homes in San Diego. And then April Campasup, she's a licensed real estate agent, awesome house flipper and wholesaler. She makes a living flipping and wholesaling ugly homes. Top 5% real estate agent in San Diego, and has bought for cash flow, assigned, wholesaled, invested, and flipped in San Diego. So when flipping, there's a few things that we need to talk about first before we get right into it. Is you should always have a plan before flipping. So are you flipping the home for yourself to live in, or to resell at a profit? Number two, have a budget. If you don't, you'll easily go over and you won't profit as much as you thought you were. You might even lose money. So a lot of home flippers, they just go, wow, I'm getting it at such a great price. And they, once they start, then they, you know, they don't have a budget and they end up losing money. And that's a lot of them, actually. Believe it or not, I would say, you know, out of every 10 home flippers, I would say about half of them probably don't make money or lose money on their first flip. Number three, ask yourself if whatever repair you're going to do or upgrade, does it really need it? Meaning, will you make a return on that repair or fix or upgrade? And the way that you'll know this answer is by knowing the comps. So if you know the comps, meaning what the properties are selling for in the area, then and what those properties had them sell for that price, then that's when you'll really know whether you should make that repair or upgrade. Number four, you have to, are you going to hire an expert or do it yourself? You know, there's time versus money. A lot of people say, well, if I do it myself, I'm going to save money. But what they don't realize is it's going to take them 2-3 times as long to do that same stuff. Why? Because most of us have 9-to-5 jobs. So we have 9-to-5 jobs, and that means that we're doing it at night, in the morning, over the weekend. So there's opportunity cost that we have to take into consideration. And also, we're going to do it a lot slower than hiring a contractor, for example, to do it full time and just knock it out within a month instead of it taking 4 months. And then number five, we should all have fun, because flipping is a fun thing to do, whether it's your own home, whether it's for profit. It's very rewarding, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, so those are some things to consider here when we first start. Now, I'm going to share with you guys, let's see here, just this is what we're going to be covering. So we have a 7-point strategic strategy when we sell. We're going to be talking about these two things here. We're not going to be talking about pricing or marketing or any of that stuff. We're going to be talking about condition, okay? Things you could do to the property to improve the value of the property. We're going to be talking about full-on remodels. We're going to be talking about small projects. And then we're going to be talking about staging. So a lot of us, when we think about flipping, we don't think about the staging aspect of it. So believe it or not, you could spend very little money, and staging isn't what you might think it is, where someone just brings in full-on furniture. It's just making the property look better. Okay, so condition of the property and then making the property look better. So we're going to be talking about those items here. So we'll get right into it. So April, if you want to unmute yourself and walk us through the details you want to share with us. And while we do this, as we go through this, I'm going to share with you guys some real life examples of some things that April's talking about.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm loud.
It sounds a little, yeah, it sounds a little different, but yeah, we could hear you right now. So
Okay,
right,
perfect.
let me go back here. So this is April and her crew just working hard.
Are you going to be clicking on it for me then? Or
yeah, I can click it for you.
Myself? Oh, I can click it myself, right?
Yeah. So this is April working hard at a property. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Voltaire. And everyone here, you guys should be so proud that you're jumping on a call like after a long weekend, just to learn a little bit about what can increase your value of your home. So really appreciate everyone coming on today. And at the end of this, I hope you learn something from it. You get more excited and not scared of doing renovation. A little bit about myself. I am I flip homes for a living. My name is April Campus Duke. I am at the Lepe Tendwell office as a real estate agent. If you've seen my picture somewhere or seen me everywhere, I've been featured in a couple of things online. You'll see me on the American Dream. You can find me on Amazon or on Instagram or anything like that. So if you want more information, this is how you can find me. And I do go on job sites and I do a little bit of demo and stuff. So that's the picture right there. So I do some labor. So the next piece of it, and I just wanted to share like a kind of what my business model is so that everyone can kind of see my experience. This is an average, this is based on last year and the year before. I typically renovate or flip 7 to 10 properties per year, myself and my team, so my husband's on my team as well. I wholesale or find investment property opportunities for other investors who also flip in the business. And then I work with buyers and sellers on the traditional sales side. But my passion and my number one tip of today is, if anything you get from this, is that building your wealth through rental portfolio, which I think Voltaire will say the same thing, is passive income. So that's my business model, is that you can do everything here, but the goal is whether you have a 9-to-5 job or is a flipper or a real estate agent, you definitely want to build wealth through passive income. So that would be my number one tip and my experience, that if anything you get from this business model is passive income. So
yeah, that's a good point, April. So it goes back to like the first thing is just having a plan. Why are you flipping? Now there's some people on this call that are just flipping maybe their own home. Absolutely fine. But I think that the long-term goal for a lot of people that get into flipping is passive income, but they don't know that when they start. They might figure it out down the road where they're like, I can't flip forever. You know, what should I do with my money? So
So I think, and that's a great point, because the reason why you're on this call is because you have some interest on learning, right? Either if you're a seller who just bought a property, want to do some repairs, want to know what the budget is and what brings an increased value. This is a great time to kind of learn what brings up that. You're also on the calls because you're a real estate agent and you want to sell and bring top dollar to your actual client's property when you're listing it. So what can you do? So let's just go straight to the do's, right? So these are some do's that I recommend. And so we'll go from the do's to the don'ts. Okay, so that's my daughter. She's actually painting. Yes, so during quarantine, when you have no activities to entertain your kids, you can keep them working. She's painting the wall, and I did paint over it, so she wasn't the only one painting. Okay, so I said the do's to do to increase value. So if you have a budget, whatever your budget is, I think painting is very important. So I think it's a very inexpensive, quick, easy, cost-effective. And everyone asks, what do I paint? So the idea is to paint. So if you have more than 3 different colors at your house, and I know some of us do, I think you should just paint it so it's 1 to 2 neutral colors. So if you have a bunch of colors, start painting your walls so it's more neutral. When I say neutral, is not that crazy red color, not the weird blues. The bright yellows are pretty actually, but bright yellows, bright colors. And if you don't have a huge budget, what should you paint? I would say paint the front door, because that's the first impression. So if you only have a budget to paint a couple of things, maybe just paint the front door will start out. I think one thing that people don't really realize is the ceiling, because when you're looking at someone's ceiling, if you have a dark ceiling or a yellow ceiling or popcorn ceiling, it makes your house look really dark and outdated. So if you have popcorn ceiling and it's in your budget, a smooth texture will help. And so just removing that popcorn ceiling and painting it a light color or white would work. Something simple, basic, no yellow, nothing dark. It will actually brighten up your space. And then landscaping is also important, something simple and low maintenance. That means if there is overgrown trees, and I know that we have that, overgrown trees, overgrown plants, anything unwanted, we just need to maintain or remove it. This is a huge question that everyone asks me. Should I update my kitchen? And I would say is if it's in the budget, yes. Any renovation to your kitchen brings value. And that means that as little as changing your hardware brings a ton of value because it outdates your house if you have something that's not modern looking or clean. If your cabinet colors are not like the white modern color or like more fresh, like sometimes the kitchen cabinets are just dirty. That helps. If you want to just clean out the kitchen cabinet and this is a home that you're planning to live in, and or like you want to gradually do the updates, then I would do that. If you're selling this property because you have lived in it for a time period, investing a little bit of money into your kitchen is very important. And it depends.
And April, while you're talking, sorry to cut you off. While you're talking, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you guys that exact thing that you're saying on a property that one of my clients had that you know, basically they had some tenants in there, and it didn't show nicely, and you know, basically they had an offer they were going to accept at 260 on the table, 260,000. It was a small little condo, townhome type of deal, and they're going to accept it. And I said, hey, look it, you know, don't accept it. This was it right here.
See picture of that.
Yeah, and the reason why they're going to accept it, and the reason why they're going to sell it as is because they didn't have any money to invest into it. So this was a kitchen. This is what you're talking about, right? You know, I mean, look at the cabinets. You know, there's all kinds of food. You know, tenants were living there. So the way you see it here, backyard, you know, the landscaping.
Do you have it on the screen? I don't see it on the screen.
Oh, yeah, I do have it on the screen. Good call. I
want to see the before and after of just painting.
Yeah. So check this out. This client, can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this client didn't have any money, and that's why they're going to accept 260 on this place. Now, the cool thing is we have a program here where if you don't have any money, we'll front the money for you, get it fixed up for you. Then there goes the sink in the kitchen, the front. We'll front the money for you. And then we just get paid back at the close of escrow, right? So this is a kitchen. You know, brown cabinets. This is all old school, right? It's not the newer stuff. Obviously, there goes the sink that we just showed you. So the tenants were there, so I convinced them, hey, look, let's just get the tenants out of here, and then let's do it. So with a budget of $6,000, okay, we were able to sell it for $43,000 more. So what did we do in the front? We just removed, you know, all this stuff. We planted a couple of succulent plants, nothing major, very simple. Now it looks a lot cleaner. Look at the kitchen. So what did we do here? We didn't put new cabinets.
What is that, paint?
We painted it. Yeah. So we painted it. We put a new sink. If you remember the old sink, it was pretty grimy. I mean, this is it right here. I mean, there goes, you know, there goes that kitchen, you know, there goes the sink. So it's just these small little details. This is all painted. And like you said, you know, new hardware, right?
You know, and since we're on this picture, the appliances look new as well. Is it newer or the same one?
Good question. Just let me check.
Because I would say that if you have a budget, the appliances go a long way.
No,
so
same one. Yeah, same one. We just cleaned it up.
This looks clean because it's
look at same fridge. Yeah, we just cleaned it. You know, we put this new little light fixture right there, I think. And then in the backyard, everything was just cleaned up. Oh, so we redid the tub. So that's like a $300-400 job just to resurface it. We didn't have to replace it, right? The actual. And why didn't we go all out? Well, because we knew the comps. We knew that we wouldn't get our money back if we do a 30,000 remodel. So we did a 6,000. Check this out. We just cleaned out the backyard. We did a $6,000 remodel, and the clients got $30,000 more or $40,000 more on the sale. So it just makes all the difference in the world. So anyhow, let's go back to your what we were talking about right here with you.
And so in those pictures, you can see that obviously the low landscaping, simple landscaping, because at the end of the day, the end buyer, whoever is deciding to purchase your home, or whoever is appraising your home, whatever the reason for the updates are, it looks clean, and it brings a lot more value in your home when the house looks organized. So I think that's the key of it. Having that fresh paint goes a long way, and if that's $6,000 budget, you did a lot with. You literally painted the walls. Yeah. You got it looks clean. I want to say all the front yard is done. Some new lighting, new fixtures. Those are very simple updates that will increase the value of your home. And it shows the proof is there. He would have took $260, right? Now got a lot higher in price point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think that's huge. The bathroom is something that we just showed a picture of, but that bathroom does need to be updated. And I don't mean like break or take apart your tub and do new tile. Tiling is very expensive. We're talking about like cleaning up that bathroom so that the toilet looks clean. If you need a new toilet, get a new toilet. There's a new fixture, a new mirror. Vanity is either painted or a brand new vanity. You can get a vanity at Home Depot for $200. These are like very simple things to update your bathroom. If you have a bathroom that you're planning to live and have, like this is your primary home, you want to bring value in it, then yeah, take the whole bathroom apart and do new tile work, new floors, new everything. But even if you change the floors, that will do enough to make your bathroom seem and appear updated. So I think the kitchen and bathroom should be your biggest budget in anything if you're planning to do any remodels of your home. And then the carpet is my biggest pet peeve. I know a lot of us see this is when you go to a house and if you see a stain on that carpet, your head starts spinning. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if there's animals living there, if something's going on. It just you get turned off by the house. And so I would say if you can, replace the carpet or get it deep or professionally cleaned, because that goes a long way. It doesn't have to be a brand new carpet, but as long as it's no stains, that's the most important. I've sold a couple of houses, and I know Voltaire will say this, where the carpet was like a weird color, but it was just really clean, and it's still sold because it was just clean. So even if it's an odd color, it was, as long as it looks clean, that works. You don't have to remove all of the carpet and do all new hardwood floors or laminate. If you're trying to live in the home, then that's a suggestion that I would do. And then for decluttering and get organized, I know this sounds crazy, but when people look at houses, they actually open your drawers. I know that the kitchen drawer, they actually open the cabinets. So if your actual pots and pans aren't organized, that actually turns off a potential buyer. I know that sounds really, really crazy, but if you have too much clothes in your closet, you might want to empty it out because it makes your actual closet look smaller. So right before you put it on the market, or if you're planning to put it on the market, I would empty out some stuff by your clothes, your closet, and your drawers, especially the ones in your bathroom, because when someone uses the bathroom and they run out of toilet paper, they open your drawer and they see everything. I know I'm joking about this, but I'm serious. So that's another update. That's a simple one. That's not even really an update. It's just really getting cleaned out and get organized. The appliance that I would recommend is you can go get new appliances that are stainless steel. It doesn't have to be top of the line, but if you have like the rental status or like the white refrigerator or the black refrigerator, if you change it to the stainless steel, it actually makes a big difference in how your kitchen appears. It looks a lot more updated. And then I'm changing your front door handle /locks. So the a lot of times we'll get to a house and that front door lock is not open. If you're out there showing a house and the agent has a hard time, or you having a hard time opening the front door yourself, that's a big no-no. So if you need to change locks on everything, great, but go ahead, but at least change the front door. And I see that a lot. Voltaire, you were going to comment on that one.
Yeah, no, that's good, because it's a small thing that a lot of us may not even notice or realize that it can make an impact. But just by, again, you trying to jiggle the front door trying to get it open, you can't. A lot of buyers might think, oh, just subconsciously, just like, oh, this is a fixer. I wanted to comment on what you said about decluttering. I'm going to show you a property right now that it was one of those deals where the client said, well, should I fix, they wanted to remodel the whole thing. They wanted to go in, can you see these photos? Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you see it? Okay. So they wanted to come in and I know you're looking at this property. You wanted to buy it, right? As a fixer?
I was still trying to buy it, but I think it's going to go to sale. I have to name on this property.
Yeah. So this is a property that, if you look at it, it looks like an older property. It is an older property, right? Look at the carpet. Look at how it's lifting, right? This was like the original owner from the 1960s. She upgraded this some time ago. I don't know how long ago, but anyways, this property had a bunch of furniture in here, older carpet. Look at the carpet. And they wanted to do popcorn ceilings. They wanted to paint the thing. They want to do new flooring. They want to do all these things. Now, the comps for a flipped property are only at $560,000. So they're thinking of putting 30, 40 grand into this place. So I looked at it and I said, hey, don't do anything. What we need to do is just, it was full of stuff. There's stuff here, right here in this corner. There's stuff in this room. Hold on a second. And there's stuff in every room, living room. And what I said was, hey, let's just declutter it, right? That's one thing. So there's stuff in every corner here. I said, let's declutter it and let's just get it presentable. Let's clean it up and let's not spend too much money. So basically we decluttered it. There's stuff like right here. I mean, this lady's lived here for 50 years almost. So you can just imagine all the stuff. So we just decluttered it, used her same furniture just to make it look better. The only thing that we really spent money on, I'll show you right now, is this right here in the front. Okay. In the front, we spent like $380, okay, on this hedge right here. So you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. This is how it looks before. And one thing that April was referring to is just curb appeal. Curb appeal is huge. So let me see. Why did I keep clicking on the wrong property? Here we are. All right, so this is the curb appeal before. You see this hedge? It just blocks out all the light. Yeah, it blocks out all the light into the home. So what we did was we just trimmed it in half. So this is how it looks now. This is how it looked before, okay? So anyhow, we put on the market, we received multiple offers. We're currently countering in the $515,000 range, as opposed to, them spending 40 grand and not getting their money back and selling it for 565, or selling it to an investor for, 460,000 or whatever an investor is probably willing to pay for this home. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'm glad you showed that before picture, because the key is the curb appeal and the first impression counts. That's why I keep referring to the front door. A lot of times, like I know that we're used to looking at our front doors, but if you have a front door that's been the paint is completely gone because the sun keeps shining on it. The yellow is really like a pale white now. You really need to touch touch up that front door. It makes a huge difference for someone to see. It does show that you care too. So their first impression is that the front yard is well manicured and or like, you know, it's been cleaned up and the front door lock works and painted. That's a good first impression. The one thing that I didn't put on here, but I think is something that I would recommend is if you are putting a house on the market, I would recommend to allow parking or appear to have lots of parking. That means if you have like a ton of cars, and I know a lot of us do park in front of your driveway, you probably want to just move it during the duration of your escrow period or when you're putting it on the market. Because if a seller or a buyer, a potential buyer or neighbor is looking to purchase your home, and you have a bunch of cars blocking it, or they can't park or get access to your home, they're going to be turned off. They're not going to want to see your house. And so I think I didn't put that on because it's not really a do. It's kind of like, hey, your real estate agent will probably tell you, or if you're an agent, you should probably know this, is to make sure there's enough parking and there's no one parked in the driveway, period. So that's my number one rule I tell everyone is do not park anything in the driveway. And it helps a lot because if someone can go to your house and see that it's, you know, there's nothing parked in front, it appears a lot better. And that's why during this time period, the vacant homes do sell quickly versus the ones that are occupied, is because there's access anytime. There's no parked car outside, all that. So I definitely recommend that. There's a couple of don'ts that I would like to share, and this is just from my experience. Walter, you can chime in on what not to do. I'd say number one, I would say do it yourself. Leave it to a professional. I'm the person who will probably say I try to do everything myself and then end up wasting my time, spending more money trying to fix it, or get really scared because I probably shouldn't have done it in the first place. So the couple of things that I would recommend leaving to a professional is plumbing. If you shouldn't be touching any tools related to plumbing because you could do some type of disaster. Electrical as well. If you're messing with the electricity, like the electrical box, you can burn your house down. So really leave that to a professional. And I think my pet peeve is tile work. Do you see that little illustration? These are actually really nice tile. Like you could tell that this is like modern tile, but do you see the way it's laid out? It's not even flat. It's like all bumpy. That is an illustration of tile work done incorrectly. I put a big no on there. You can tell it's not even at all, but the sad part is this is actually new tile. And so that's a waste of time, money, and effort. This is a brand new tile. If I saw this, I would make my client, or I personally would rip this out myself because it's not nice. And don't forget that when you're doing a renovation, you have to be mentally prepared for it. What that means is if you're planning to live in this renovation, mentally prepare yourself that timelines change order happens, and anything could happen during this renovation. I don't personally recommend living through a renovation, but if it's like one room or another room, you can live in one part of your house. But know that if you think it's going to be done in 2 weeks, or that's the assignment, it could be another week or two longer. So really have realistic expectations when you're doing renovation. Also, don't always hire the cheapest. You always get what you pay for. Seriously, like this is huge. You have to check the vendor's work and investigate them. I'm a really big believer in getting multiple bids and then checking their work and Googling that person, like looking them up online, seeing if they really did the work, verifying if their quality of work is good. Even if they're not the cheapest, I'm going to hire them based on the product that they're offering. And so I definitely think this is important. I know that sometimes we go with recommendations from people, but we really need to go with our own investigation. So when you install the front door, I think that we talked a lot about like getting that front door curb appeal. One thing that I see a lot of even clients, even myself, we love that front door feeling and looking great, and we'll go and install this huge or very expensive high-end price front door that's super heavy that only you like as a person likes, and other people don't like it as much. So I would say the front door, as long as it's clean, low efficient, even a steel door, budget friendly, does really well for a front door. Those expensive doors don't really bring that much value back to your home. So I would say if you're going to put it on the market and sell it, I wouldn't replace that front door with something expensive. I would just do a new door that's clean. If this is a house that you're living in, you want, and you love the home, the front door is preference. So pick whatever door that makes sense and you're happy with. And don't remodel your home office. And when I say remodel your home office, it's a huge one. It's those built-in shelving and desks. They make the room appear a lot smaller. I see a lot of people will professionally get these nice offices built, especially when they know that within the next year or so they're going to end up selling the home. Those shelves are not, that office space could actually be a bedroom. So it could be a family could look at it and say, I actually need a 3 or 4 bedroom house. I have a lot of kids. And then they see this huge bulky home office with built-in shelving. That doesn't add value to your home. I want to say that clearly. Like, it's better to have furniture that you can easily remove than those built-in shelves. And then install an in-ground pool. I know this sounds crazy. Pools are great. I have a pool, so I'm insulting myself, but I bought the house with a pool. Okay, so the goal is, if you're going to sell, adding a pool doesn't bring you value automatically to your home. They're very expensive. They're not cost effective right now. And so unless your house already has a pool, I don't recommend going out to build that pool. Some people see having a pool as a positive, and some people think having a pool is high maintenance and expensive for the electricity bill. So if you don't have one, don't go and install one unless you need it and this is your primary home, you're planning to forever live here. Adding square footage usually brings value to a home, but adding like a sunroom or an unpermitted space does not bring value to your home. And I want to say this clearly is because this is kind of mixed, I guess it's more of an opinion, but I would say the unpermitted space, like the add-on sunroom, if when you add that to a house, generally when you add more square footage, it does bring value, but the sunroom actually darkens up your kitchen because usually the sunroom is coming off the living space or the kitchen area. So sometimes that actually is backfires because it looks like you have a small backyard and then a really dark kitchen. So if you can, unless it's done properly, a sunroom or those unpermitted square footage doesn't help bring value. You should always get your additional bathroom or bedroom always permitted because that brings value to your home. And I put add a backup generator. I know this sounds weird, but if you have, some people think that having more electricity, I see a question over here. Well, you're gonna have to read it to me. I see a question pop up. Adding up a backup generator doesn't help. Like if you have more electricity, like solar, things like that, unless that solar is fully paid in full, not a lease, that's actually helpful. But having anything like that or like a hero program does not help improve the value of your home. And then the window treatment, I think I had someone ask a question. Don't add expensive window treatments or add window treatments if there's not any there. And I want to say this because when I flip a home, I normally don't put window treatments on my home because I leave it to whoever is the end buyer to decide and determine what kind of blinds they want for the home or if they want curtains or whatnot. Because those expensive window treatments, I mean, like the shutters are very expensive. Those are nice if you're planning to live in the home. Do you have a question on that, Walter? I had a question, but
the question that Ozzy has is, if you don't have a budget to replace the windows, can you do something with the windows to increase the value?
Yes. So depending on the type of windows that you have, you can actually, if it's, I've seen people paint the windows before, like around the trim or take out the old trim.
The exterior windows paint around the trim. Is that what you mean?
You can exterior paint around the trim. I've actually seen a good trick that I do sometimes is I'll actually remove the trim. And I know that sounds really weird. It's because those trims don't make your house look modern. They actually outdate it depends on how the trim looks like, you know. You also can actually do trims inside the house too. Have you ever seen casings or moldings around the window trim? That actually makes the house look newer. I've seen people, if it's like a historical area or an old-fashioned window, just change out the glass. You can change out glass for windows. It depends on the type of windows, and it's not as expensive as changing the entire window, but you can change the glass.
I also have a suggestion that you can use those foam 3D stuff to put on the outside. They're really inexpensive. You put them on there, you paint them. It kind of gives the outside window a three-dimensional look, and it's not all that expensive either.
Yep. And if you can, and if you don't want to change the window, but you just want the window to look fresh or the area in the front, I always put a planter box. I know that sounds crazy, but I put a little plant box right in front of the front window and put a couple of really new, fresh, bright plants, and it all of a sudden makes the house look fresh. So a planter box helps as well.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, good suggestion there. Okay.
So those are some don'ts. Yep.
Some don'ts. Good. All right, let's go into construction.
So construction. So understanding the difference between a contractor, a subcontract, an unlicensed contractor. What is all this? It's a hot mess, right? Because contractors, there's lots, everyone says they're a contractor. I say I'm a contractor. Just joking. But I tell people that. No, but so anyone who's a contractor on this so sorry, this is just from my behind the doors with contractors. I'm not offending anyone, so that's a disclaimer. So there's a difference between contractors and subcontractors. So if you're a contractor is hired by a customer. That's myself hiring a contractor. Their main goal is just to communicate to me and pretty much have a great relationship with me to organize, tell me what I want to hear, everything like that. They're trying to keep on schedule and their priority is whatever I want. The customer is always right? So that's the contractor. Then you have the subcontractor. The subcontractor is typically hired by the contractor. They're the ones that actually do the labor. They're the ones who are certified techs. They do the work. They report directly to the contractor themselves. They are going to be trying to stay on schedule, and their specialize is actually in the task, not the whole job. And so, for an example, is my contractor, if I had a contractor, I'm going to tell them exactly what I want. Change this light, this, fix my bathroom, new tile and stuff. The guy who's doing my tile is not my electrician. They're two separate people, and generally they're subcontracted by the contractor. And why I say this is very important is because the contractors are going to be licensed, they're bonded, they're going to charge you for them to project manage your actual project. And then the person who's doing the labor might be 2 or 3 different people. So don't be scared when you hire the contractor and then you see like 3 new people at your job site. It's because that person is going to be doing maybe the tile work, the actual electricity, anything, all different separate jobs. And they're certified techs. What that is that they are certified to do electrician, electrical work. They're certified to do whatever job perform. They're just working right directly under the actual contractors themselves. And those are the difference. So here are some tips with what you need to know about contractors. Timelines are not deadlines. I say this all the time because if you're that type of person who needs a timeline, forget it. You're just gonna get a date and you're gonna know that it's generally gonna go a couple days behind, maybe even a week, depending on if there's a change order. What a change order is if you decide, you open that wall up or you change, they do something, they're like, and then they upsell you, they cross-sell you. Hey, do you want to do this, this, and this? That will increase and change your deadline. It's not a timeline, a timeline. So I would say that pricing is a huge. Everyone always texts me, and I'm happy to answer the question, is everyone always says, hey, I'm going to do this laminate job. They're charging me this much. Do you think it's a good price? I go, sounds right. How big is this place? There's no real good math on this. Really, the pricing will change per job and availability. A contractor will tell you today it's $100. You call me tomorrow, it's $500. Why is the difference in pricing? It's because I'm not busy today, so I'm giving you a discount. I'm super busy tomorrow, so I'm charging you $400 more. That's the answer. So what I always tell people is, hey, whenever you hire someone, you want to negotiate the price if possible, and you want to get multiple bids. So when you, and they know that, there's no contractor, they know you're not just looking at them. You're also getting a bid somewhere else. So you want to make sure everyone bids within the price point, because generally doing a couple tips is, most people like to remodel during the summertime, just like how most people like to buy in the summertime. So a lot of times the summertime pricing of remodeling is expensive because they're really backed up. A lot of times during the holidays, It varies. Sometimes the cost is more expensive, sometimes it's not. It depends on if that actual particular contractor is busy. So their price will change. So you always want to get more than one bid, and then you want to negotiate to get the fair bid. A fair bid is not the cheapest. A fair bid is what would work and would make sense to you. And don't pay a contractor in full or upfront without a full contract. And when I say that,
So good point there, April. I had a question for you, and we'll go back into the don't pay them up front for everything. What's your experience with women in real estate, flipping homes, dealing with contractors? Do they give you the same price as they do with dealing with males, or how does that work?
I'm going to answer this truthfully. So I would say that most of the time, as a female in this business, I always get ripped off. And 100% of the time, I come in knowing that I'm going to get ripped off. I already have a number that will work, and I will tell them straight out, hey, I can't afford this price. This is the price I can afford. And then see if that works. Because it's like us. We go, if you're not in the business, you're a female. I'm not saying that females don't know construction, but a lot of times the assumption is it's easier to get away with overcharging a female versus overcharging a male. Same thing if I take my car to a dealership. I come in to get an oil change and I come out with like 10 different items that my car got changed. So I just don't go and
come out
change
with a new car.
Huh? No,
You
don't
come out with
talk
a
about
new
my car. I love my bucket, okay? I love my bucket. I'm not changing cars. So anyways, the point, and I do need a lot of oil changes there, but the point is that to answer your question is, as a female, and for those who are on the call, it's actually very normal for you to get a higher price point than a male will. So just be wary of that. It happens all the time. It's not uncommon. So if you go in there with a price, just know that it could be a little higher than if your husband or your brother or your neighbor who's a male, if they go ask for the same thing, they're going to get a better price. Sam?
Okay, thanks for answering that.
Hey, and if I can add a comment or two, if you're going to do this, you have to really immerse yourself in not only the timeline, but the material delivery, because I was just working on a job where we were just doing time and materials, and the owner wanted to, order all the materials, and she didn't order the hangers for the rafters. So people were standing around for 4 hours and getting paid for not doing anything. And, so you really have to immerse yourself in the process. And I'll give you another example. If you're hot mopping your shower and that hot mop guy doesn't show up on time, that's going to affect not only the hot mop of the shower, but also the tile guy and the plumber coming in to finish the plumbing. So if you don't kind of like ramrod these guys and make sure they're on time and doing what they're supposed to do, it'll cost you delays, and that's money.
Yes, and I'm glad that you brought that up. Is because there's a lot of details when you're renovating or remodeling a project, and so sometimes if one person, it's a domino effect. If one person is late or doesn't show up or doesn't do their job, and then it actually delays the other people on the project as well. And that's why timelines are not deadlines, because there's been delays and change order, meaning that some changes are happening in the project. Which really is important that you don't pay anyone up front for the full job or without a contract. I think it's very appropriate for you to pay for just the material up front, because the material goes to your project anyways. But sometimes it's a big job and they need like 10% up front. That's probably the max I'll pay, is 10 to 15 maybe up front, depending on how big the job is. And when I say materials only, is because in order for someone to start on your house, they need to buy the material. And a lot of times they can't front up the material. And this is just a note in your head, is that contractors, they pay their subcontractors and their workers weekly on a Friday. So if you hire someone on a Wednesday, Thursday, and they know they have to pay their people on a Friday, they're going to bark you up in a day or two. So it depends on when you hire them. So if you hire them, not saying there's a better day to hire them, just be aware. They pay their workers on a Friday. So if one job doesn't pay them, they're going to call you to get payment. So that's why sometimes they're like, oh, you can pay me up front, or you don't have to pay me up front. It's because, hey, I got to pay my guys on Friday and I have no money. That's the clear answer for it. These contractors, they're just like us. They get paid per job. So sometimes when there's a job that sounds really good, they're gonna jump at that job first. And so they don't always show up on time, and they're usually late. When I say late, I'm not saying like 5 minutes late. Like sometimes they're like hours late or a couple of days late, or they don't pick up their phone call. They do start their days very early. And so when I say early, it's like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you are living in your renovation, know that someone's going to be at your house. You can't sleep in. Someone's going to be at your house, and they're going to want to work before 8 o'clock, and then they want to get out of there before 5, 4 or 5. You want to mark, they typically, not all, sorry contractors, not all mark up their material pricing, but some do. So they might say, hey, it's $20 for this, but it's really $40 for, I mean, they might say it's $40 and the price is actually 20. So you want to witness or verify their receipts on a price of a product that they're buying. So a lot of times, to avoid that, I might say, I'm going to pay for the materials. I'll go ahead and pay Home Depot myself, or I'll pay the material. Or I can say, hey, what's the all-in budget including the material? Because I'm only paying this, the whole price. I'm not paying any more than that. Because a lot of times they do change their pricing on the materials so they can pocket more money. So remodeling is messy. So you have to have a game plan. And I think Coach mentioned it earlier. It's like, just know the schedule is going to change and have a game plan on it. And avoid change order, upselling, or cross-sell. So once they open up something, a wall, once they change a light, they're always going to ask you if you want to do more. That's called change order. If you want to do more, do more. Just know it's going to cost more, and it's going to extend your timeline. But nothing is for free. So that's a little bit. Any questions? I had someone, Coach, you have a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. One of the things that I've used that worked pretty well for me when I built that home up in Temecula and everything was with the contractor. I went 30% up front, 30% when he was half done, and 30% when he was half done, and then the last 40% when he was completely done and I was completely satisfied. And that way he kind of kept his feet to the fire, and he could pay his guys and all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it. You know, dealing with contractors, they usually take your money to go pay for other jobs.
Yeah.
So if you're not careful, you could give them a lot of money up front, and then it'll take way longer than you ever wanted or expected your project to be finished. So just be careful. Use a contract. I say, you know, pay them very little up front, and then, like Coach said, you know, the remainder once you're completely, you know, satisfied with the job. Cool.
And once you pay them, they're not coming back unless like you have some type of contract. But if you pay them for something, you want to make sure that you verify the work is done. And I know there is a lot of information. If you ever want additional like tips or want to learn about like what I'm doing, if you find this interesting, you can always DM me, like, follow, any ideas or need inspiration. When I say DM, you can DM me literally anything. If you need a feedback question or anything, I will get back to you. But yep, I just started a page on Facebook for my business. So if you guys like what you hear today, I would really appreciate it if you click on the little review button and leave a comment. You can't score me anymore. You can only leave me a comment. So if you put anything there, it would be great. And then this is a fixer that we did a while ago. If you have a house that's unwanted and you personally don't want to flip yourself, and it's actually a true fixer, give me a call or DM me, and I'd love to have an opportunity on that. Anything else?
Yeah, definitely. No, thanks for all that great information. Go on our page, make sure you like, and I guess what we're going to do is we're going to finish with a couple of, let's see here. Let me drop this down. Let me share this part of the screen.
Oh.
Can you see this, April?
No.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. Okay. So there's our information. I'm just going to share with you. And again, there's different ways to do your flips. One is just do, you know, the least minimum where you profit the most. But there's some projects where, you know, you will need to basically do everything, right? Just like, you know, like this property here. It was super old, outdated, you know, kitchen, you have the chimney. And even on something like that, you know, there's different, you know, you could do everything, or you could just kind of clean it up and make it look like, you know, it's a complete remodel. So this is that same property. So, you know,
Wow.
we kept the cabinets, we just painted them, right? And then you see how much open light there is. Again, the whole goal of a flip, for the most part, is to make a good profit, put out a good product. You see the fireplace, how much nicer it looks. You know, we went in there, just sprayed it, painted it, you know, put some new flooring, kept the same cabinets, kept the garage, and then just cleaned up. I mean, the landscaping is one thing that I think a lot of people, you know, underestimate as to how nice your home could look just with some newer landscaping. So that's one example there. Look at how it looked before. You know, it was just night and day. And then let's see if I have one more example. I'll show you one example here when it comes to just the landscape. And again, you know, this is how the backyard looked, and this is how it looked, just a bunch of stuff. You know, you had half tile, half dirt, and again, nothing fancy, just super simple, but I think it made a world of difference when selling this place. Just so you have an idea of, because a lot of buyers out there right now. So we put some DG here. We put the other half, remember, it was all dirt. So we just kept this tile. I didn't think it was worth just ripping it all up and just putting DG or the fake grass all throughout. It was going to be too expensive. I didn't see the return on there. So we just did this part that was originally dirt, and it just makes a world of difference, because that's what buyers want in this neighborhood. They want, you know, a nice little outdoor space for their dog, a little outdoor space to barbecue. So it comes down to really knowing the neighborhood, knowing the comps, knowing what people are paying for, what really adds value in their mind. And when you're doing this, you should definitely, again, hire professional contractors, hire professional realtors and experts, flippers such as April, to really walk you through this. So let's see if we have any more questions. Thanks so much. Okay, no questions there. So if you guys have any questions, you guys know who to reach out to. Thanks for joining today. Have an amazing rest of the week. Thanks a lot, April, for your time. See you guys later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Thanks. See ya. Gracias, Osvaldo. Thanks for being on time. I don't know if you're on time, but I'll just pretend you were.
I think he was.
Was he? He was just asking questions just so he'd be like, all right, I'm here. All right, see ya. All right, take care.
Bye.
All right, bye.